Welcome back to our weekly virtual camp sessions. I'm Karina Boxnick, your State 4-H Camping Coordinator. This is session 8 of our virtual camps. And as you can tell, we're in the kitchen today, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so today we are making 2 different spice mixes for meat. The first one will be for burgers, and the second one will be for whole cuts of meat, whether that's beef, chicken, pork, that's totally up to you. Some of the supplies you're going to need in addition to your spices are going to be a mixing bowl, measuring cups, measuring spoons, a whisk. You're also going to need some kind of airtight container to put your final product in. I like to use these small canning jars. They've got a spot for a label on the front, but you could also put a label on the top. So the first one we are going to do are for burgers, and you can incorporate that into your burger meat or you can just sprinkle it on top as you go. So you're going to need a 1/4 cup of salt. I have sea salt, but you can use regular salt. This is just what I happen to have in my pantry, and the brand does not matter. Just use what you typically use. You need 2 tablespoons of paprika, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, a 1/2 tablespoon of cumin, a 1/2 tablespoon of ground black pepper. You can add in a 1/2 tablespoon of dried basil. I don't particularly care for basil, so I'm going to leave it out. You also need a 1/2 tablespoon of dried parsley, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of dried mustard. And you're just going to put all of these in a mixing bowl, whisk it up, and then add it to your airtight container. So that was for the burger. Our next one is a barbecue spice rub for whole cuts of meat. You are going to need a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and my brown sugar is in just a separate plastic container. You need 1/2 cup of paprika, 1 tablespoon of ground black pepper, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of dried parsley, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And like what I did on the other rub, if there's any of these spices that you want to leave out, you are definitely welcome to do so. All right, that wraps up this session of virtual camp. You should have 2 sets of spices, one for burgers, one for whole cuts of meat. The burgers, you can just incorporate it into your burger meat or sprinkle it on top as you cook them. On your whole cuts of meat, you can sprinkle them on top and rub them in. I like to create hash marks across the surface of my meat. That way it gets down inside the meat a little bit farther versus it just being on the surface. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Thanks.